Hi guys, how are you? I hope you are doing well. Today I am going to start editorial part from the Hindu newspaper and my topic is in Brazil COP30 and the moment of truth. COP30 means Conference of Party. Conference of Party organized in 2025 in Brazil and last year was organized in Azerbaijan in Baku. Baku is the capital of Azerbaijan. So let us start. Today in the Brazilian Amazon, the Balance Summit opened ahead of the 30th Union Nation Climate Change Conference. COP30 world leaders convened here in the days leading up to the COP so that we can all commit to acting with the urgency that the climate crisis demands. If we fail to move beyond speech into real action, our societies will lose faith not only in the COPs but also in multilateralism and international policy politics more broadly. That is why I have summoned leaders to the Amazon to make this the COP of truth, the moment of demonstrate the seriousness of our shared commitment to the planet. Humanity has shown its ability to overcome great challenges when it acts together and guided by science. We protected the ozone layer. The global response to the COVID-19 pandemic proved that the world can act decisively when there is a courage and political will. Back to Brazil. Brazil hosted the Earth Summit in 1992. We approved the Convention on Climate Change, Biological Diversity, and Combating Des- desertification and adopted principles that define a new paradigm for preserving our planet and our humanity. Over the past 33 years, these gatherings have produced important agreements and targets for reducing greenhouse gas emission from ending deforestation by 2030 to tripling renewable energy use. More than three decades later, the world has returned to Brazil to confront climate change. It is no coincidence that COP30 takes place in the heart of Amazon rainforest. This is an opportunity to politicians, diplomats, scientists, activists, and journalists to witness the reality of the Amazon. We want the world to see the true stage of forest, the planet's largest river basin, and the millions of people who live in the region. COPs cannot be more showcases of good ideas annual gathering for negotiators. They must have movement for contact with reality and of effective action to tackle climate change. To confront these crises together, we need resources and we must recognize that the principle of common but differentiated responsibilities remain the non-negotiable foundation of any climate pact. That is why the Global South demands greater access to resources, not out of charity but justice. Rich countries have benefited the most from the carbon based economy. They must now rise to their responsibilities not only by making commitments but also by honoring their debts. Brazil is doing its part. In just 2 years, we have already halt deforestation in the Amazon, showing that concrete climate action is possible. A move to preserve forest and other natures. In Belém, we will reach to innovative initiative to preserve forest, the Tropical Forest Forever Facility TFFF. It is innovative because it operates as an investment fund, not a donation mechanism. The TFFF will reward those who keep their forests standing and those who invest in the fund a genuine win-win approach to tackling climate change. Leading by example, Brazil has announced a 1 billion investment in the TFFF, and we accept equally ambitious announcements from other countries. We also set an example by becoming the second country to present a new nationally determined contribution NDC. Brazil has committed to reduce its emission by 59% to 67%, covering all greenhouse gases and all sectors of economy. In this spirit, we call on all countries to present equally ambitious NDCs and to implement them effectively. The energy transition is fundamental to meeting Brazil's NDC. Our energy matrix is among the cleanest in the world, with 88% of electricity coming from renewable sources. We lead in biofuels and are advancing in wind, solar, and green hydrogen energy, redirecting revenues from oil production to finance a just, orderly, and equitable energy transition will be essential. Over time, oil companies worldwide, including Brazil's Petrobras, will transform into energy companies because a growth model based on fossil fuel cannot last. People must be at the center of political decision about climate and the energy transition. We must recognize that the most vulnerable sector of our society are the most affected by the impacts of climate change, which is why just transition and adaptation plans must aim to combat inequality. We cannot forget that 2 billion people lack access to clean technologies and fuel for cooking, and 673 million still live with the hunger. It, in response, we will launch in Belém a declaration on hunger, poverty, and climate. Our commitment to fight global warming must be directly linked to the fight against hunger. The need for a climate change council. It is also fundamental that we advance the reform of global governance. Today, multilateralism suffers from the paralysis of the United Nations Security Council created to preserve peace. It has failed to prevent wars. It is our duty, therefore, to fight for the reform of the institutions. At COP30, will advocate the creation of UN Climate Change Council linked to the General Assembly. It would be new governance structure with the force and the legitimacy to ensure that countries deliver on their promises, and an effective step toward reversing the current paralysis the multilateral system. At every climate conference, we hear many promises but see too few real commitments. The era of declaration of good intention has ended. The time for action plans has arrived. That's why today we gain the cup of truth. So I have completed this editorial part. So we have to summarize this editorial here. So COP30 is basically a organization, or we can say that like G20, G7, BRICS, just like a COP30. So these all are same purpose, but in different countries. But if we are talking about COP30, their purpose for hunger, first is hunger, global warming, I mean climate and poverty. Poverty is a major problem in the whole world, like African continent, Asia continent are the most of the people are suffering from hungerness, and poverty and hunger are both are a relatable word, because if you are if you are poor, then hunger will come ultimately. Then if you are hunger, then must you must be a poor person. So climate change is different, and poverty and hunger is different. So this paragraph focus on basically on climate changes. Like Amazon is the largest rainforest and world largest forest, as we know. Brazil has major part covered by Amazon rainforest. So Brazil has taken major step to prevent Amazon rainforest because it is our lung for Amazon forest like lungs for our earth, because 20% oxygen of the our earth it's come from Amazon forest, because around 9 9 million 9 million area covered by Amazon forest. So Amazon is a I mean must must important for human being. If we are talking about affect, every 1 minute a football like structure area cut from Amazon rainforest. It means every 1 minute Amazon rainforest losing their area by a football stadium like area. So global warming caused by pollution, like we are using fossil fuel, petrol, diesel, LPG, CNG, all are fossil fuel. So if we burn fossil fuel, it emitted carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, and other various type of gases. So it cause it cause in our environment, and it break the ozone layer in the our atmosphere. So ozone layer protect our human being and other creature by the uh, ultraviolet light from sun. So if we are if we will shift on renewable energy like solar energy, wind energy, then we will reduce the uses of fossil fuel, and we will prevent our ozone layer. Also we will prevent our forest, mountains, rivers, and other uh, essential creature for earth. So today is my today I have completed this editorial part. I hope you will enjoy this video, and if you find any mistake or anything wrong, if you want to improve anything in this video, you can comment on this video. Also, last thing I want to say, practice makes a man perfect. So I'm learning from English, so I'm trying to speak in English in in this video. Thank you so much.